Hello, you guys. It's your girl Asia from Lone Rain's Fangirl channel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another Degrassi season 14 review. I know I kind of been, MIA, but you know what? I don't want to go through this season so fast. But you know what? The quicker, the motherfucking better. So I only watched episodes 3 and 4. I haven't started watching 5 or 6 yet. So I'm gonna try to get to watching those episodes um, the fastest I can. But as for right now, we're gonna review episode. Sorry, we're gonna review episode 3 called "If You Could Only See." Now, this episode is basically, this is where they start the Degrassi news, and everybody and their mama know how much I despise this storyline. I don't get it. Like, when I watch season 14 and this storyline came on my screen, I don't get Zoe's reasoning. Like in this episode, no, that's in episode 5, but still, basically, to sum it up, she wanted to do the Degrassi news because Frankie, was in her room with Winston or whatever, and Winston had his shirt up, so the mama thinking they was doing the nasty or that they was about to have sex or whatnot. Frankie says she should be treated equal to her brothers, which I 100% agree. That double standard is going to do nothing but rebel your child. Like she told her mom, I do everything you ask me to do, and all I'm asking is for you to trust me a little bit more, and you can't even meet me halfway. That's bullshit. As your child, and if I do everything you ask me to do, there should be no reason why you can't give me a little bit of trust. If you don't trust me, then what am I doing all this stuff for? Like, okay, you probably say, oh, she should be doing good grades. She should be having good grades. She should be doing good in school. She shouldn't be drinking. She shouldn't be smoking. No, you couldn't just say, oh, she shouldn't get a reward for that stuff because that's not what a kid should be doing anyway. But Miles does all of those things. Miles skips school, he drink, he smoke, all of those things. And he gets rewarded, even though it's sometimes you can say it's a manipulation tactic or whatever. He don't really get in trouble. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like when when Miles' dad gives him gifts, it's really to make Miles forget what they went through and when his dad was hitting him. But even before that, when Miles was doing the shit he was doing, like when he was cutting class and smoking and drinking or throwing parties or whatever the case might be, he did not get in trouble. And I agree with Frankie. It's bullshit. She should get treated equal to her brothers because she can do something and get in trouble for it while them niggas can commit them a homicide and they'll get rewarded. That's not fair. So basically, to sum it up, the Degrassi news was started because, Frankie mentioned how, guys are the sex crazed idiots and girls get bashed for being sexy or wanting to have sex. If we're too sexy, we're sluts. If we're not sexy, we're weird. It's just this double standard when it comes to sexism. And she was over it. And I 100% agree where she was coming from. I mean, they did a whole episode of it in Big Mouth where the girls got punished because the guys could not control their hormones. That's not fair. You feel me? So I definitely understood where Frankie was coming from. But how was girls sending naked pictures of themselves a good tactic? I just don't get Zoe's reasoning. Like, whenever I hear her open her mouth, it's just retarded. I just don't get it. Like Frank said, there's other ways we can raise money. We don't have to send news of ourselves to bring ourselves down. It's just dumb. Like, the whole idea was going to be a shit show. Literally. It was going to be a complete shit show. I just don't get Zoe. Like, her reasoning is that, oh, after what she been through last semester with having her news shown without her consent. It's like, okay, so how was you pimping girls out to raise money? How does that make you any better? You're literally forcing those girls to send news so they can help you raise a cause for games. Like, I don't get Zoe. And it's like, you know what? Season 14 really should have been when they gave her a redemption arc, but instead, they just made her more of a bitch and they made you hate her even more because there is nothing in this world that would make me be on a cheer team if my captain said she need me to be a prostitute or whatever it is. Zoe was basically these girls' pimp. So the Degrassi news storyline has never been a storyline I like. It's just really fucking ridiculous. If you look at it, to see how they got away with it for so long is really, really beyond me. I cannot believe how long they actually got away with that. Like, for real, that's crazy. And Frankie texts Zoe that they need to stop oof chatting because Frankie saw that Hunter looks at Degrassi News. So, she's kind of like afraid that he might, notice, or, if her brother is on there and shit like that, it's just going to make things more complicated. So she told Zoe they need to stop doing it. Zoe told her no because they didn't already raise $200. So that's the whole shebacko. Trying to think what else happened in this episode. This Becky. Okay, let me touch on this real quick because when I was watching this episode, Becky, I don't know what's with Degrassi season 14 writing like at all. I don't know why with the whole pregnancy storyline with Claire and Drew and Eli that they're making it seem like that the way Becky was talking to Imogen and Jack, she made it seem like that Drew fucked Claire while they were together. It's like, no, girl, that's not what happened. Drew and Claire slept together before you and him were ever a couple. So it's like, she don't... It's kind of weird because it's like, as a woman, of course you will be angry, but the way Becky is angry, it's like they wrote it as if, oh, Drew cheated on her and slept with Claire. And it's like, no, that's not what happened at all. Drew did not cheat on Becky. Drew and Claire fucked way before him and Becky became a relationship. And she knew that, right? Claire literally told her that in season 13 that the reason why she could not work with Drew in a project is because, after sleeping together and everything like that, it just made things more confusing. So Becky knew that Claire and Drew slept together. So her walking around and acting dumb and want to pretend like she didn't know, bitch, don't let me punch you in your motherfucking face because, bitch, you knew. Period. You knew. So with Becky, I understand why she's upset, but at the same time, it's like you can't really be that mad because you knew that they were already hooking up or whatever the case might be. I understand if you don't want to be with a guy who has a baby on the way. That's completely understandable. You broke up with him. You told him that you wish things were different, but, things are complicated now. With you about to be a dad and Claire always being in the picture, I don't really want to be there. You feel me? But then at the end of this episode, she ended up taking him back anyway, which really pisses me off when it comes to the other episodes that's going to be coming up. When she get mad at him for wanting to be involved with his child. It's like, girl, nobody told you to stay with a dude who was having a baby. The fuck, when you broke up with him, you could have stayed away from him. You and Drew could have been associates or whatever the case might be. So my thing is with Becky is that I'm like mad that the writers are making it seem like, oh, when her and Drew dated, he fucked Claire. Like, no. That is not what happened at all. At all. That's not damn near. That's not even close to what happened. Period. What's something else? What else happened in this episode? Because I'm kind of just going through things rapid firely. This is the episode where Maya started having nightmares about Miles. So this was like kind of the highlight of the episode for me. When Maya came into the classroom, I literally realized when I was watching this season for God knows the 10,000th time that they literally had no fucking plans for Maya at all for the first half of the season. Before they put her with Zig, they had no plans for her. Because the fact that they wanted to put her in the middle of what Miles and Tristan had going on always fucking irritated me. Like I said, why not just do a fucking love triangle? Why not just do a love triangle? Why not? It just would have made things make more sense because, and the reason why I said that is because in the second episode, when she walked up to Miles, she talked about she's owed an explanation while her ex-boyfriend, her ex-best friend is fucking or hooking up. And it's like, girl, no, you don't. They don't owe you no explanation. You and Tristan are not friends, and you and Miles broke up over spring break. Why do you feel like you're owed anything? So I feel like if you're going to have her walk around and say things like, oh, I'm owed an explanation and da-da-da-da-da, why not just make a love triangle, right? Because the fact they just threw her in the middle of what Miles had going on, and then in the middle of him and Trist's relationship, that bothers me now a lot. Now that I watch this show, it does. As much as I really do think the Hollingsworths really were the stars of this season, when they threw Maya in there and in the middle of what Miles had going on, it just irritated me because it's like she could have had other stuff she could have been doing this season. Whatever. They could have did the Zig and Maya storyline way earlier. But they decided to do it in the second half. And don't worry, I'm about to rewatch them episodes again when it comes to their love story to really see, is it really given as much as people like to say it does. So we're going to cross that bridge when we motherfucking get there. But as far as I'm concerned, right now, there was no need to really make the first half of Maya being in Miles' family stuff or Zig trying to chase Zoe. You could have scrapped them storylines and just did something where Zig and Maya. Boom, bada bang. But Degrassi like to test our patience and make us wait longer for shit that we really shouldn't have to wait for. So, like I said, Maya started having nightmares about Miles. She walked into the classroom and said, "Where's Miles at? He's in this class." Zig and Tanya are making jokes and saying that the reason why he going through what he going through or why he been skipping classes is because he gay. Maya chuckled and said, "Okay, yeah, maybe." And they said, "You really didn't see no signs of him being bisexual or whatever the case might be." And Maya said he really going through a tough time right now. And they said, "Why? Because he's gay?" The bell rang, and she looked over at Miles' desk, and she just looked so uncomfortable that he is not there, that he skips a lot, which he does. Miles skips all of his classes, which is why I'm thinking, where the fuck was CPS? There needed to be something done with him not coming to school. Am I not? Like, there should have been a paper or something that showed your son that missed blanket many days of school. What's going on? Like, I'm just confused. But anyways, when Maya was in her class, she had a nightmare that Miles committed suicide in front of her. And I bet nobody ever like put two and two together. Don't y'all know how Miles was on top of the like stairs railing where in her nightmares he was jumping off? Y'all know that's where Cam jumped off and broke his arm. It's a lot of shit that's neck and neck. You feel me? I bet none of y'all ever realized that when Miles is committing suicide in her nightmares, that is literally where Cam was at when he broke his arm on purpose. Because I feel like that's the overlooked storyline season 12 where Cam was self-harming himself, like hurting himself, breaking his arm or cutting his hand with his ice skates. Like, I think that's overlooked a little bit in season 12. But this ain't about Cam. This is about Maya and her nightmares. She had a nightmare, and her teacher called her mom and told her that, the teacher told her that she had a nightmare in class. And Maya said that she just been really worried about Miles, that he might hurt himself because he hasn't been coming to school. And, he's just been completely distant, and she's just really worried. And her mom said that she's going to call his mom and, do something about it. So, in the scene when Maya is at home, Miles walk in and he cussing at her, asking her who the hell does she think she is, and she said what? He said, "Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about? How about when you had your mom call my mom because you said I might hurt myself?" And she said no. She said that's not what she said. She said she didn't know her mom was going to do that. And he said, "Really, Maya?" He said, "If you're going to act like a crazy person, at least own up to it." And she said, "No, I was just telling my mom that I was just really worried about you." And he said, "How many times do I have to tell you?" "Then I'm fine." Maya said, "I guess until I believe you, I guess." And he screamed and said, "That is your problem. Get over me and stay the fuck out of my life." And, he walked out and she just started crying. One thing I will give Miles is this. Yes, stay the fuck out of my life. Like, on some real shit. I don't think he said that to be mean, but it's to the fact that, me and you are not in a relationship anymore. And as far as I'm concerned, we're not even friends. So there really is no reason for you to be worried about me or telling your mama to tell my mama that you worried about me. There is no point. Me and you are not friends. And, our breakup was what it was. But you shouldn't be losing sleep over me. I mean, there's nothing wrong to still care about your exes, whoever y'all might be. But at the same time, I definitely understand where Miles is coming from. Because it's to the point where it's like, Maya, I can't necessarily blame her. Because, Cam Def fucked her up. and she was seeing those signs in Cam and Miles. So it wasn't just something she couldn't just turn off or turn her head and say, you know what, fuck it. But to me, if I show that I care and someone, continues to push me away, I don't care anymore. You made me not care because when I did care, you made me act like I was the devil incarnate for caring. So now that you pushed me into that corner, I don't give a fuck anymore. Maya is better than me because when you hurt my feelings, I'm not going to be there for you. I don't give a fuck if we're friends or if we're in a relationship or whatever the case might be. If you hurt me and make it seem like me caring is overbearing or it's too much for you, then how about you like me when I don't give a fuck? Because now you really gonna hate me because I'm gonna turn into a cold ass motherfucker. Because you made me into that person. You made me that, and then you get mad at me because that's how I'm reacting. No, motherfucker. How many times does someone get away with hurting you and hurting your feelings, taking you for granted? They shouldn't. So don't let them. Period. And Zig called Miles a jerk, and Maya said she feels like she's just messing everything up. Zig told Maya that, sometimes you can be overbearing, but you mean well. He gave her a hug and she started crying into his shoulder. And I 100% agree with Zig. I do think Maya can be overbearing. I do sometimes think she can dig her nose in someone else's business, but I don't think she does it on purpose. I think it's just Cam's death. Her being overbearing just makes her not want to lose people. So she involves herself in situations she really shouldn't have to, but she does it because she cares. Like with the Zig stuff, when he was living in an abandoned house, she was afraid to lose Zig, right? So that's why she told her mom that Zig can live here because she don't want him going to a foster home or getting hurt or whatever the case might be. So she feel like she had to do something. The same thing with Miles. She knew what Miles was going through at home, so she feel like she had to be the one to rescue him. I guess you could say Maya had this save people complex where even if it's someone that's not her friend, she feel like she just had to put herself in a situation, and I feel like sometimes she didn't have to do that. But I'm not gonna put Maya down for Karen, never ever. This episode was okay, I guess. I really would have liked it had I saw Miles a little bit more in this episode. I mean, putting him in the background just to put Becky in here and her whole situation with Drew, I really don't give a fuck. Because Becky ended up taking this nigga back at the end of the episode, so all of it was really for nothing. And, the Maya storyline with her having nightmares about Miles, I actually really liked that storyline a lot, so I can't wait to get more into it. And what else happened in this episode? Oh, the Degrassi news storyline. I despise that shit to a T. So if y'all hear me go hard or rant really, really hard when I'm going through these episodes with it, please just don't be angry at me because I found that storyline to be really dumb. Like, there was better things Degrassi could have wrote, and yet this is what they thought of. I mean, and a lot of y'all say, oh, but it was Frankie's idea. No, Frankie was just ranting, saying that she didn't like that there's a double standard when it comes to guys and girls in households or in schools. And I 100% agree. I'm someone in a household who lived with a brother. He gets certain extensions that me and my brother, that me and my sister did not have growing up. That double standard in the household definitely exists. Period. I don't give a fuck when nobody try to tell you. It definitely fucking exists. And it needs to stop. Whatever rules you set for your son, they should be set for your daughter when it comes to relationships, sex, whatever case it might be. I'm breaking the cycle when I have kids. A lot of people say, oh, but when you have kids, why should it be different? No, I'm not going to let my daughter feel like she has to. If she knows she a good kid and she does everything she does that's right, why the fuck should I let her have little fun? That's not fair. And if she has a boyfriend, I'm going to tell her what any parent should tell their child. If you think you're ready, go for it. Just be safe. Think of the consequences of unprotected sex. There's pregnancy. There's sexual diseases that can be involved. So make sure he get tested if he's been sexually active. I know you're a virgin, but make sure it's something you really want to do. That's what I would tell my daughter, and it's the same thing I would tell my son. You want to go out here and just fuck any girl, make sure you be prepared to be a dad, because that's what happens when you have unprotected sex. And if she is more sexually active than you, tell that bitch to run you a test to make sure she ain't got no STIs or no STDs. Period. I'm not gonna raise my children as a double standard. There should be nothing that your son should get away with it that your daughter shouldn't. If my daughter want to throw parties and have alcohol and drugs and weed and shit, I'm gonna get on her ass just like my son. Like I'm gonna get on my son's ass if he did it. I'm not gonna let him get away with it and then get her and then get her and give her punishment if she did the same thing as him. How the fuck is that fair? Because it's not. So no, the whole Degrassi news storyline wasn't Frankie's idea. She was just talking about how she don't like that girls get punished because guys are the sex crazed idiots. And then that's when Zoe came with the idea that we should do Degrassi news because now guys have to pay if they want to see a titty and some ass. What? That literally makes little to no sense. So let me get up off of here because the Degrassi news storyline definitely just pisses me off a lot because it's like, what the fuck? But as always, it is nice talking to y'all, and I'm gonna see y'all in episode 4 because that episode, ugh.